Howdy folks, we're here to talk about some new craftsman tools that I picked up this Memorial Day weekend from Lowe's. Lowe's, not Sears. We don't have a Sears in our area, sadly, anymore. So, this is the 51-piece gunmetal chrome 3/8 drive socket set. Now, we're going to compare this sockets and all to its parent company stuff, Stanley. Now, if you folks don't know or haven't heard, Sears Holdings Company sold the Craftsman brand to Stanley Black & Decker several years ago. Well, a few years ago now, and they've been carrying the Craftsman torch for a while now. So there's I've already been inside, because when you get new tools, you just sometimes you can't wait, you know. So I've already been inside, and I can already tell you what to expect, but I'm gonna show it to you. And right off the bat, before we even start, this does have the 120 tooth ratchet. It's just, I don't know why it doesn't say it on the box at all. I mean, whoa. On the back it doesn't say it, not even in the fine print. Doesn't say it here. The only clue that you have that this has the 120 tooth ratchet is this 3 times better access, which I would have really liked them to just come out with it and say, yes, this has the 120 tooth ratchet, instead of you having to go actually look at just the ratchet alone. And even there, it's hard to find that it's the 120 tooth ratchet. And I really think that in terms of marketing, they really dropped the ball on that. Now, I know what you folks are saying. Oh, it's made in China. It's not American. Well, okay, you're right, it's not American, but you're wrong. It is not Chinese either. This, my fellow viewers, is actually made in Taiwan. Now, I know some of you are saying, oh, what does that have to do with anything? Well, if you know of anything about cultures around the world, you know that the Taiwan culture is, they have a different thought process when it comes to work. It is build a good product and put it out there at a good, fair price. Where the Chinese, it's produce, 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 produce. That's the one big thing about Chinese tools is that you can tell it's produce, 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 produce. Versus a Taiwan tool, in my thought process in tools, if I can't get a tool that's made in America, I would much rather it be made in Taiwan than China. And that's just the way it goes for me. my daily ratchet, this Titan here, I've literally beat the snot out of it and put it through hell. For those of you that say, oh, well, it's not a snap-on, well, may not be a snap-on, but I want to see you take your snap-on ratchet and I want you to put an 8-ton bottle jack on it. If you don't think it'll handle it, well, this one already has. So. But enough of that. Let's pop open the case. Let's find out what we have inside. Nice foam rubber. We got the nice foam rubber insert. It is actually the denser foam, like what you'd play with in grade school, but you could actually set your tools out on this. One thing I will have to say about this set already is that these sockets do fit into this case really tightly, so you are going to get several years of good use, hopefully, out of it before you actually start wearing the case out. But, you know, you could use this foam rubber pad as a work surface. Whoa. Yeah. There. Now, there are some downsides to this kit. I'm going to tell you that right now. It does skip sizes in places, and especially when it comes to the metric stuff. I don't know about you, but I work on a lot of domestic vehicles that are made after 1980, so I have to deal with a lot of metric stuff. That's just the way the world has gone. They've gone to metric. They don't use a lot of SAE nowadays. You ask any tool driver what they sell most of, SAE or metric, and they're going to tell you that they sell more metric nowadays. Just the facts of life. The few sizes that it does skip is in your standard sizes. It skips the 9 and it skips the 20. So it goes 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then to 21. To me, I really never see a 20. I rarely see anything bigger than a 19, even when I'm doing heavy line stuff where I'm pulling trannies and ripping apart suspensions. I rarely see anything bigger than a 19, and if I do, it's usually lug nuts, so I tend to just go to my impact sockets already. So for me, that's not a big deal to not have a 20, but the 9, I don't use it much, but when I need it, I need it. So, and when you need it, you need it. So keep that in mind. Now when it comes to the deep wells, you got 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 17. Okay. Personally, the 11, I would have actually kind of liked to have seen that in here. I would have really liked to have seen an 18 deep well in here, just from what I see and what I do, I see a lot of 18, especially in what I do with suspensions and transmission work. I would have really liked to have seen an 18 deep well in this kit just because of that. Now, it does come with a very nice ratchet, and the one thing I don't like about it is that there's no quick way to pull it apart. What I'm assuming they did is that there's a snap ring in here, and it snaps out, and I don't feel like taking a hammer and start wailing on this thing to get it to pop out, but I'm guessing that that's the way that you would do it. And I'm not going to recommend you do it either. Just because it's stupid. So, taking a look at the mechanism is kind of out of the question, but let's listen to it. Alright, so that's a very nice mechanism, and it's a fairly good sized handle. Yeah, give you about 14 inches. Yeah, I'd say 14 inches from tip to back cap. 14 inches. One nice thing about this set is that it does come with a fairly good sized extension. I have a genuine made in USA craftsman extension of the same size. So let's compare. Beautiful. And you can see that this one's slightly tapered, where this one's a square cut stamping. Let's try the ball. Now, this one, I'd have to say this has got to be 30 years old. So, and after 30 years, it still holds very nice. Now let's try the new one. Yeah, it's fairly tight. Maybe in 30 years we'll test this again. But one thing I've noticed that seems like everybody's gotten wrong is that no, this is not rust on the inside. What you have to realize, folks, is that if you buy a gunmetal chrome, whatever, or a black chrome piece, that you don't treat it the same way as you do chrome. You actually want to treat this more as a painted surface than a chrome surface. That means do not use chrome polish on these. If you're into polishing your tools, do not use chrome polish. Why? Because that black or that gunmetal finish is going to come right off. Because this is actually an extra process in the manufacturing of these to have that gunmetal finish on there. What they do is that it goes through the broachings and the stampings, and then it gets chromed just the same as standard chrome would be. Afterwards, they dip these in a solution that gives them this gunmetal chrome finish. Now, it's, to put it in an easier way, it's essentially staining the chrome. It is not, in a way, this is not as durable of a finish as chrome. This would be similar to anodizing aluminum. So you really do not want to take and run these through chrome polish unless it says that it's specifically made for gunmetal or black chrome finishes. Don't use it, because you're just going to wreck your finish. This is going to flake off, and you're going to be so unhappy because you've spent the extra cash on the black chrome or the gunmetal chrome that you're just going to blow a gasket. So don't do it. Keep that in mind. Now we're going to take that out. We're going to take the ratchet out. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you. It does come with a universal joint. Now, I don't have a USA made universal joint, but this is kind of the budget way of making a universal joint. This actually is a press fit pin on both ends. It's a press fit pin here and a press fit pin here. So what you've got is essentially them clamping down that way. And why I say that this is a cheaper way of doing it is that on, I don't even know if Snap-on does this anymore, but on ones that have a little bit more pride into them, I should say, they give you screws. Now, screws are good in the fact that when these loosen up, you can put these in the bench vise, kind of close them up, and then screw them back down. Also, another good thing about these is that if they do break here, you replace the bolt and you can go about your day. Versus this, where if this breaks, well, you just go buy a new one. You just go and get a new one. The big thing about it is that the pin ones usually are thicker. The pins are usually thicker than the ones that have the bolt running through them. So it's that catch-22 where, okay, which is stronger, but longevity, strength, longevity, strength, longevity. It's that catch-22 where I think that they went more for strength over longevity, just for the fact that they know that people are going to really be putting some PSI through these. Just because, I mean, you take 300-pound man and you put him on the end of this ratchet, I mean, you're talking 300 foot-pounds of torque if he can put his full body weight on this. So, just something to keep in mind when you're looking at universal joints. Yeah, the longevity ones, you want to get the bolt. The ones that have the strength, the pin is probably the better way to go because of the thickness of diameter of steel, and just get yourself a good one with a great warranty. They've got right on their full lifetime warranty. If a product fails to perform for any reason, we will replace it. Call the 1-800 number. No proof of purchase necessary. Which cannot be said for all American companies. So, I think that's practically what I wanted to show you here in the kit, but we'll take the 13 out, we'll take the ratchet out. We're going to compare this to the parent company's offerings. Now, these are older. This kit's got to be, I want to say, yeah, about 8, 9 years old. So, it's not the newest kit on the block, but it's not the oldest Stanley ever. So, comparing the ratchets, the one thing you do find out with the Stanley is that you can take it apart. You've got the, what they call these Torx heads. They seem to work fine for a while, but these are Torx heads. I wish they would have just went with standard Allen heads or 6-point heads. You know, just standard stuff instead of Torx. But you can take this apart, you can clean it, you can actually, if you needed to, you could rebuild this. I mean, I would just call the 1-800 number and see what the heck they say, but something tells me they just tell you to throw it in the garbage and wait for your new one. But don't quote me on that, because I haven't had a problem with them. So, looking at the sockets now. From my eye, the broaching is exactly the same. The square drives, the square is the same, but where the actual ball fits into. Let me see if I can slide the camera in here. Bueller. Let's see. Okay. Whoa. Yeah. There you go. That's the Stanley. Let's see. But and there's the Craftsman. Now, as you can tell from what I'm seeing, the Stanley has smaller ball channels than the Craftsman has smaller ball channels than the Stanley. Okay. So, let's see how the new Craftsman fits on the old Stanley. And it fits tight. It's not too wobbly. So, very well usable. Now, let's try the old Stanley on the new Craftsman. And, yep, falls right off. Falls right off. So there's no binding. You won't be beating the tar out of yourself to get the socket off the ratchet, which is a good thing. Now, if you're going to be doing some serious work, the 51-piece kit, the Craftsman kit, is probably not the one that you're going to want. You're going to want the bigger one. You're going to want the 151-piece kit, and that comes with your 3 sizes of drives. It comes with your quarters, your 3/8, and your 1/2-inch drives. So you would have, now this is all Stanley, but you would have essentially a ratchet grouping that looks similar to this, but in this design. So, and you'd actually be able to do some serious work with that kit. Now, where I see the 151-piece kit actually being the kit to buy is if you've got a kid that's just wanting to start turning wrenches, get them the 51-piece kit, and you won't be sorry. It's a great kit for Junior to learn with. It's got enough sizes where they could fix their bikes, their friends' bikes, and even help you work on the small engines. So this, in my opinion, is a good starter set for a child. Now, why not just buy them a rail of sockets and the ratchet? Well, I was actually going to do that originally. Originally, I walked into Lowe's thinking, oh, I'm just going to buy a ratchet, I'm just going to buy a rail socket, because I really needed something on the upper end for the extent deep well sockets. So, that's the way I was going. Well, if you go buy this kit, and you can get it for the same price I did, this is a $50 set. Yeah, this is all $50. So, you're essentially, if you think about it, you're paying less than $1 a piece for all this. kind of take that in. So, why wouldn't you just buy the ratchet and a rail of sockets? Well, this ratchet alone is going to cost you $30 at Lowe's. So this ratchet alone is going to cost you $30. If you want to just get a rail of deep wells for them, that's going to cost another $35. So you've got $65 plus whatever sales tax you have in your area, and you don't have the entire size set that you need. Plus, the one nice thing about this kit I find for working on bikes and lawn tractors and the daily push mower is the fact that it does come with these, your rail. Now, for the professional mechanic or even the semi-pro guy or the weekend warrior, this is not a great kit. This is, you've probably moved way past this. So, is it even worth it to have as a knock-around for the car? Well, it depends. If you need a knock-around kit for the car, then yes. This is a good set, and it'll get you by. But if you're really needing tools, I just tell you to step right up to the 151 piece kit and go from there. Yes, it's another $100 more on when it's on sale, but it's better than this in terms of what it covers. So I hope that this helped you in your buying decisions on the 151 versus the 51 piece kit. Is that worth it? The 151 piece kit is probably worth the money, but like I said, for getting the kids into working on vehicles and working on the tractor, even getting them into go-karting, this is a great kit, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Plus, if they don't like it, you get a 122th ratchet for yourself. I don't know how else to put that. Get a 122th ratchet yourself, and heck, you could hang this on the wall in the man cave and it'd look nice. So, things to think about. I hope that this helped you in your buying decisions. Like I said, we're going to be talking about ratchets in a video here soon. I really want to try and make it a live stream, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It'll be sometime on a Saturday. So stay tuned for that, and please comment, rate, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.